Hello Nigeria, welcome to Newsline. I am Becky Madujemo. Serious issues are on the front burner tonight. The term Nigerian factor will be analyzed for what it is and how we can turn it around positively. Before that, there's an SOS from a cluster of communities where water has become elusive. While they will be revealing how they are coping, eternally displaced persons are on the line to share their projections for 2018. Family matters to be discussed by our respondents border on interference by a third party in marital disputes and the role of husbands in domestic activities. We have all the great stuff which will go unmentioned now, but wait after Ogwa Vivian Oyedibia is done with the news. Over to you, Ogwa.
Good evening, Becky, and welcome to Abuja. As part of ongoing reviews of the country's security apparatus, the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Security Infrastructure has engaged Benue State Governor Samuel Otom in discussion on the way forward. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports that the interaction is sequel to the killings by suspected gunmen in the state.
Security Infrastructure and Benue State Governor Samuel Otom seeks ways of finding a lasting solution to the farmers and herdsmen clashes in Benue State. Senate leader Ahmed Lawan and the leader of the delegation assured that Senate will partner with all agencies mandated to provide security to find a lasting solution to the crisis. Governor Otom stressed that after due consultations, passage of the anti-open grazing law and introduction of ranches is the way forward.
We have looked at this. It's not that we did not do our homework well before coming out with this law. We did. Series of meetings were held at the state, at the local government, at the ward level. And so our law is a win-win law.
He also thanked President Muhammadu Buhari for his swift intervention in the crisis. The committee also engaged the Tortiv, traditional rulers, and the Benue State Commissioner of Police.
So what Nigerians should expect at the end of our assignment and approval of the Senate on our recommendations would be that our security institutions will be better, that citizens, Nigerians, should expect to be protected and secured more efficiently and effectively by the security institutions. The traditional rulers across the country should have serious and positive roles to play in our security arrangements.
The senators visited the Daudu IDP camp with goodwill messages from the president and a 1 million naira donation from the Senate. In Makurdi, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Well, following the peace meeting by the Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris with Fulani and Tiv communities in Lafia, Nasarawa State, the IGP and Governor Tanko Almakura have followed up with tour of border communities to assess the security situation and drive home the message of harmonious coexistence. Joshua Ojito reports.
The visit of Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris to Tunga, Logo and Guma is in continuation of his engagement with stakeholders to end farmers-herdsmen clashes as directed by President Buhari. While in the affected communities, the IGP also interacted with traditional rulers and again with representatives of Tiv and Fulani. He also visited the internally displaced persons and assured them of adequate security.
We are going to make some adjustments of deployment, right? Yes, sir. We are taking some more mobile policemen to some of these areas. Yes, sir. And this we are able to achieve because of our personal assessment of these locations.
Meanwhile, Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura also visited the IDP camps where majority fled Benue attacks to border communities of Awe, Kiana and Obiluku government areas of Nasarawa states. According to the State Emergency Management Agency, there are more than 18,000 displaced persons taking refuge in Nasarawa State.
We need to fast-track the support we give to them. What I consider most fundamental is to ensure the increase of security, to also ask security operatives to go along the border towns where these people have deserted, to ensure that there are no vandalization of their houses or food items.
The government, Governor Al-Makura assured, will sustain the provision of relief materials and medical services. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has distanced itself and its over 1 million members from the killing in farming communities in the country. The group says its members are the worst victims of the attacks, as they have lost over 1,000 members in less than 7 months. Musa Baba Aliu has the details.
These are leaders of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, representing over 2 million of their members. Their concern here is the frequent crisis between their members and the farming communities in Benue, Taraba, Adamawa and Kaduna states. The association is also worried over killings of innocent citizens, including their members, by unknown gunmen in the name of Fulani herdsmen.
While we have suffered decades of neglect by the government with attendant consequences, the current national gang-up against the herdsmen is not only endangering our survival as a people, but also justifying action against us, no matter how crude and inhuman it is.
Baba Usman, who is the National Secretary of the Miyetti Allah, said their members are ready to support the federal government and the security agencies towards finding lasting solutions to the farmers-herders clashes.
We demand for the immediate disarmament of all illegal militias across the country in the interest of peace, security and stability.
While calling on the federal government to establish Ministry of Livestock Development, the association appealed to the government to pay compensation to all the victims of the crisis. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And still on the issue, the Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has apologized to the government and people of Benue State over his utterance on the recent killings in the state. Governor Lalong, at a press conference in Abuja, said his comments while speaking with State House correspondents after his visit to the president was not intended to underplay the severity of the dastardly act.
That I humbly apologize for my comment, because I've seen that it was really misconceived and misinterpreted. That generated a lot of social media write-ups here and there about issues, about this issue. So I apologize for that, because either argument for or against does not help the matter, because it involves loss of lives. I have great respect for loss of lives and also unity of the Middle Belt. I will not want to say Plateau is fighting Benue State at all. We are all brothers and sisters. Benue was created out of Plateau. Nasarawa was created out of Plateau. We still remain brothers and sisters in Benue State.
The governor said resolving the current security challenges in the country will require the support of all.
There is need, especially at this time, when lives are involved, for all of us to join hands to ensure that we work towards the resolution of the matter and help in finding peace, not only in Benue, but in Nigeria.
He appealed to all Nigerians to give peace a chance. Now, away from Benue State, the Nigerian Air Force is more than ever ready to boost its pilots' training efforts in the current war on terror with the acquisition of a second part of Super Mushak aircraft from Pakistan. Chief of Logistics, Nigerian Air Force Air Vice Marshal Garba Bello stated this while taking their delivery in Laguna. Benny Adams tells us more.
At exactly 7:45 Sunday morning, our cameras captured a massive aircraft making a huge presence right out of the Harmattan morning clouds at the Nigerian Air Force Base, Kaduna. Taking a cursory look as the aircraft taxied to a halt, it was a familiar sight, a Pakistani cargo plane on a delivery mission to Nigeria. Just taxied here at the Nigerian Air Force Base in Kaduna is a Pakistani cargo plane on delivery as Super Mushak trainer aircraft to enhance the services of the Nigerian Air Force. The 5 Pakistani manufactured Super Mushak trainer and light attack aircraft are the second and last delivery of 10 aircraft procured by the Nigerian Air Force.
The acquisition or the procurement of these ones will enhance early training of these ab initio pilots and see to their completing their flying training program in due time, and hence be launched into the battle in the northeast or other parts of the country.
Wing Commander Zishan Ahmed is of the Pakistani Air Force.
This should definitely increase the capability of the training that already Nigerian Air Force has. Like Super Mushak is capable of flying all the maneuvers, and the entire envelope of the flying training can be covered by this Super Mushak.
The Super Mushak aircraft has a speed of 363 kilometers per hour and endurance of 4 hours 15 minutes. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Cross River State government is to partner the Nigerian Air Force in securing troubled spots within the state to avert attacks by neighboring countries. Governor Ben Ayade stated this when the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, visited him at Government House. Udwak Etem has details.
The Chief of Air Staff, who was in Calabar for the inauguration of project at the command's headquarters, was also received at the Government House by Governor Ben Ayade. The governor lauded the Nigerian Air Force for its operations against the Boko Haram insurgency in the northern part of the country, noting that the professional airstrikes by the force have reduced the activities of the Boko Haram to the barest minimum.
There is an obvious need for us to work much closer with you, because you have a rapid quick deployment strategy where, with the aid of an appreciated helicopter, for example, you can deploy rapidly to be able to avoid any tension between crossing by
the Chief of Air Staff assured that the Nigerian Air Force will continue to collaborate with other security agencies to ensure Cross River State is free from criminal activities.
I want to assure you that I'll go back and I'll get all my engineering guys and then we'll look at how to strategize and ensure that we have the platform.
In Calabar, Udwak Etem, NTA News.
And from Calabar to Port Harcourt, where a total of 560 stranded Nigerians in Libya heaved a sigh of relief as their plane touched ground in Nigeria at 11:57 Saturday night. The migrants, who were the third batch of returnees under the federal government repatriation program, are part of the over 5,000 Nigerians expected to be brought back from Libya. Dianikume Ulolo reports.
On hand to receive the third batch of migrants, over 560 men, women and children from Libya were officials of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and other government representatives. 4 out of the 560 returnees have lost their sight as a result of the harsh treatment they were predisposed to during the sojourn in Libya.
Some medical officer examined them and they felt like 3 of them are having psychological illness, which we are already aware of, and we are going to take care of them.
The Zonal Coordinator, National Emergency Management Agency, South Zonal Office, and the head of the operations, AGK Martins, reiterated the federal government's determination to cater for the welfare of the returnees. He, however, regretted the slow response of some states in coming to evacuate their indigents, which has led to overcrowding at the reception centers.
Over 90% of the people are from South, and the federal government felt that it will be better for these people to move through Port Harcourt, which is nearer to their home.
Some of the Libyan returnees share their experiences.
Anywhere you go, if they catch you, they truncate you, they ask you to bring money. They don't even care if you don't have money or not. Some they even shoot some people.
Nigeria's girls and our boys, they maltreat them here there. So everybody have been complaining that we should find people to rescue us or come back to our Nigeria.
Following the inhuman treatment, melted out to Nigerians resident in Libya. This necessitated the repatriation exercise at the instance of the federal government to help unite these Nigerians with their respective families. In Port Harcourt, Yanukume Ulolo, NTA News.
And away from that, the United Nations has appointed Nigeria's Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, into the Investments Committee of the United Nations Joint Staff Pension Fund. The Under-Secretary General of United Nations, Jan Beagle, who confirmed Adeosun's appointment, disclosed that the minister will serve a one-year term of office effective from January 1st, 2018. A statement by Special Advisor Media and Communications to the Minister of Finance, Oluyinka Akintunde, said the decision to appoint Mrs. Adeosun was taken at the 55th plenary meeting of the 72nd session of the General Assembly. The United Nations Joint Staff Pension Fund is a fund that provides UN pension, death and disability and the other related benefits for staff of the United Nations and the other organizations admitted to membership in the fund. Minister of Budget and Planning, Senator Udoma says the Nigerian economy will be significantly better in 2018. The minister, who was speaking against the backdrop of the indicators of the nation's economic performance, said the consistent positive trend since the country emerged from recession in the second quarter of last year was indicative of a better economy this year. Senator Udoma at the 2018 Economic Outlook Forum of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, King's Court Parish in Lagos, said these positive state sentiments are shared by most international and local rating agencies who support the view that the Nigerian economy is poised to grow rapidly in 2018. Senator Udoma indicated that this growth will create opportunities for investment in areas such as agriculture and agro-processing industry, construction and services. He assured that government is determined to lead in that effort and appealed to the private sector to respond to the various initiatives which the government has been rolling out. And moving on, as Nigeria reels out of the recent acute fuel scarcity that no doubt came with some nasty effects, operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps have burst a syndicate with the connivance of NNPC mega station Mando to hoard large quantity of fuel for nefarious acts. The commandant of the Corps, Modu Bonu, disclosed this while parading the suspects around the vicinity of the mega station. Yakubu Musa has the report.
The motoring public in Nigeria had recently suffered a very serious fuel scarcity that lasted for some weeks, with their social and economic lives grossly affected. Development observers are largely relating to sharp practices by some unscrupulous marketers of the product, among other factors. The arrest, according to the commandant, was facilitated by a series of intelligence reports by some good Samaritans on the existence of the illegal mini petrol depot that is made possible to thrive by some officials of the government-approved mega station.
From our men, we received intelligent information that in this mega station, beside the mega station, there is mini depot for black marketers, where they normally protect their food for here, new jerrycans, rum, and some other containers, and then keep it aside, load it in the night and take it wherever they want to take it.
Items found within the illegal depot were 9 drums, jerrycans, and other containers with hundreds of liters worth of petroleum product, as well as 9 lift-back Volkswagen model vehicles, among other accessories. Usman Tanko, a supervisor with the mega station, is one of the suspects.
The issue of these people getting fuel here is not so. When they came around today, I believe they came with full force based on what they had. I was even shocked when I saw them. When I saw them, our priority here, anytime we see operational vehicle, we give them the privilege to get their fuel so that they will go back and face their operation.
The state commandant called on the public to always report any suspicious person or groups that are conniving to create artificial scarcity of petroleum products for rapid intervention.
The presidency says the outcome of the INEC organized elections at the weekend with 3 different political parties won is a manifestation of President Muhammadu Buhari's deep commitment to free and fair elections. President spokesman Garba Shehu, who was commenting on the outcome of the polls, said the president is inherently committed to the independence of the Electoral Commission in his belief that the will of the people shall be the basis of authority of government, which is expressed through periodic free and fair elections. Congratulating winners of the elections in the 2 states and FCT on behalf of the president, the spokesman reaffirmed that under President Buhari's watch, Nigeria will record more free, fair and credible elections. And moving on now, ethnic hostility has been described as a threat to national unity and development. Well, it is against this trend that prominent leaders of Igbo and Yoruba extraction converge on Enugu to re-establish the bond of friendship epitomized by late General Aguiyi Ironsi and late Colonel Francis Fajuyi in the program they called Handshake Across the Niger. Ngozi Silva Teknikyo reports.
The demonstration of the handshake between the Igbos and the Yorubas is a legacy of the 2 military heroes, late General Aguiyi Ironsi and late Colonel Francis Fajuyi, whose friendship transcended above tribal barriers, even to the point of death. Both were assassinated during coup d'etat. The 2 families, led by the wife of the late General, Lady Victoria Ironsi, and the first son of the late Colonel, Donald Fajuyi, joined hands with the 2 ethnic groups, led by the President General of Ohaneze Ndigbo and a chieftain of Afenifere. Earlier in the program, which was well attended by eminent personalities from the Igbo and Yoruba extraction, as well as the Middle Belt and the Niger Delta, various speakers took turns to impress on the need for peaceful coexistence of all the ethnic groups in Nigeria in order to overcome the age-long distrust, suspicion, and acrimony that has resulted to the killings of innocent citizens.
On behalf of Ohaneze Ndigbo, I pledge our commitment to a binding brotherhood.
That bond of friendship has to be renewed, strengthened, and never forgotten.
In Enugu, Ngozi Silva Technical, NTA News.
And we go back to Rivers State, where the Minister of Transportation, Chibuike Amechi, has tasked Ikwere people of Rivers State to be politically conscious and choose wisely those who will lead them in the next general elections if they desire stability, security of lives and property, as well as development in Rivers State. Amechi was speaking at a grand reception in Isiokpo, organized by the Ikwere Youth Movement for his contribution towards human capital development in Ikwere land. Kingsley Amajiri was there.
Youths of the 4 Ikwere-speaking local government areas of Ikwere, Emo, Obiakpo and Port Harcourt, under the auspices of IYM, gathered at Isiokpo to honor the Minister of Transportation for what they called his landmark contributions to the development of Ikwere people, Amechi's ethnic group. Prominent leaders from the area record that from 2000, when he was the then Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, till date, the minister used his position to ensure the appointment of Ikwere sons and daughters into position of trust, bringing the people to modern political limelight.
People are struggling to link up with the 3 major tribes in Nigeria. We have been properly linked up under the leadership of Right Honorable.
The minister said he took the challenge to work for the emancipation of his people, giving scholarship to students of the area and pursuing development programs that will add value to the Ikwere nation. He, however, regretted that some of those he used his position to bring to political limelight are among those opposed to him.
The reason why I took 60% of my appointees from Ikwere, from IYM, was I thought they would go back to you, rebuild IYM and grow with you.
The Minister of Transportation later visited the families of those who lost their loved ones in the January 1st Omoku shooting incident that claimed about 16 lives in Port Harcourt. Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Abuja, the capital city, considered to be more of a civil service place, looks dry on weekends, especially in the daytime. Well, in this roving report, Abdullahi Musa Suleja takes a look at the city and its suburbs.
Federal Secretariat in the heart of the city is one of the busy places on weekdays. While some streets have less traffic, unlike from Mondays to Fridays, others hardly record such vehicular traffic. Some residents say just as Abuja looks dry during the time, so are their pockets.
Only people that enjoys business during weekend in Abuja is people that deals on drinks, alcohol or nightclubs or nature.
The nightlife is more busy than the daytime life. So.
But off the center, a trackable distance away if you like, Korunduma Asokoro Extension is a local settlement. NTA camera catch a glimpse of a 60-year-old Sani Umar who is a stormbreaker on duty. The man said he does not know what weekend means. In other words, no time to rest.
This time I pay 60,000 for secondary school for my 2 children.
Another 19-year-old JSS3 Abdul Malik Hassan also said after attending school on weekdays, weekend is a time to look for money to take care of the coming week.
I just do this work so that to pay my own school.
I tell you, we make money for last weekend now. So we need to.
Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
And moving on now, the Southeast governors say they are finalizing arrangements in collaboration with the federal government to give a befitting burial to the late Nigeria's former Vice President Alex Ekweme. Chairman of the Forum and Governor of Ebonyi State, Dave Umahi, disclosed this while briefing journalists after a closed-door meeting at the Government House, Enugu. Uchenna Wekoyo reports.
The chairman of the forum, Chief Umahi, who described the late vice president as a national leader who was committed to the defense of the voiceless, said the 5 southeastern states will do all within their reach to give him a state burial.
As governors of Southeast, we have set up a committee headed by the Director General of our forum, and they've been working very hard with the members of the committee, especially committee members from Anambra State, committee members from Enugu State. And so today, we have looked at their budgets and are going to finalize the budgets. And the 5 Southeast governors are very committed. That's why you see all of us. And so we will be briefing you from time to time.
Governors of Anambra, Enugu, Abia, and Ebonyi states attended the meeting, while that of Imo was represented by his deputy. Former Vice President Alex Ekweme died on the 19th of November 2017. From Enugu, Uchenna Wekoyo, NTA News.
Well, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, has appealed to youth in the Northeast to embrace productive venture and shun acts of terrorism. He said this at the first major football tournament in Mongonu, Borno State since 2009. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the competition was organized by the 8th Task Force of the Nigerian Army.
10-year-old Bukar Mohammed from Mongonu local government area is among about 15,000 spectators at this historic football competition. Though his team at Jerry Football Club of Mongonu lost the finals to visiting Riverside Football Club of Damasak, he's happy to watch a football match of this magnitude for the first time in his life. Chief Army Staff Football Tournament is part of civil-military relation aimed at winning the hearts and minds of youths towards productive venture and away from the trauma of the effects of insurgency. The impressive turnout of spectators from IDP camps and neighboring communities, the Army boss says, is an indication that peace has returned to the area and the people's resilience to return home and resume their normal life.
The youths who are the future leaders should continue to cooperate with the authorities and indeed the Nigerian Army and other security agencies by promptly reporting suspicious persons within their midst.
16 teams participated in the tournament that began on 16 September 2017. Like Bukar Muhammad, the prayer of these spectators is to be rehabilitated and return to their normal lives.
We are very happy.
From Mungunu in Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Sharing news there. Now more sports as Nigeria Professional Football League kicks off nationwide for the 2017-2018 season as tennis fans look forward to the first Grand Slam of the season on Monday. Amanzi Marcus reports. Thanks for staying on the line. We start tonight with this relaxing report about the internally displaced persons camped in the International Christian Center in Abuja of your southwest local government area of Edo State. There was no dull moment for them at Christmas and New Year. This is not to say, however, that they are not faced with challenges, especially for those who just gained admission into the University of Benin. They are hoping that this year they will see more support from good-spirited Nigerians for their dreams to become a reality.
100 internally displaced persons have been living in the International Christian Center in Uhogwa, Edo State for over 2 years. Though they are far from home and hope to return and be reunited with their families someday, they have come to accept life in the camp as another home and live as one. They did not miss out on the fun and celebration of the festive season. When our crew visited, the males were playing football and the females were engaged in the kitchen, having received food items from the state government, non-governmental organizations, spiritual groups and individuals. Coordinator of the camp, Solomon Florentius, however, wants continued support so that they will not experience food, water and drugs shortage, which was the situation before the festive period.
Food is always a critical challenge. In fact, we have been living by the grace of God.
For the inmates, the Christmas and New Year celebration was fun.
We were here, we were dancing, rejoicing. Oh, I cannot even express it. It was really wonderful.
We have played many games and the Christmas was wonderful.
There are some of them who have gained admission into the University of Benin and some aspiring to be professional footballers. They are appealing to the authorities and good-spirited Nigerians to help out financially to fulfill their dreams.
So our appeal to everyone to please help to bring textbooks and notebooks for them.
I see it and keep on praying that God should work it out the way He would like it. We need the help of all people that have given us that they should provide textbooks. You know, we are going to resume for the first testing. We need books, we need clothes, we need registration fees and other things.
I want the federal government to come and help us so that my train will not die, so that I can play well.
In the spirit of a new year, they are hopeful that help will come and the situations that brought them to the camp will not stop them from making it in life.
Financial encouragement, their dreams can only come to pass with your efforts. Now, call it a dilemma and you won't be wrong. This is because people in not less than 10 communities in Pindiga Emirate of Gombe State are having a hard time searching for water. The dilemma is that before a road was built as part of federal emergency intervention to displaced persons in their host communities, the people had access to water, though they had to walk long distances. Ever-roving Hamis Rogo took a trip to Pingida, and the situation on ground is what he's set to report.
Part of our trip to all the states in the northeast to see how emergency federal support to internally displaced persons is working out. Pindiga in Gombe State is hosting schools of IDPs, and the government did rehabilitation of 2-kilometer road to support IDPs and their host communities in Pindiga. As part of our visit, we paid homage to the emir, who decided to give us royal escort. He followed us to the field. We were confronted by some interesting images along the road. The emir stopped to give us insight.
This vehicle, they have collected firewood from the bush, and the villagers up there, they are going to sell this firewood and buy water with those jerry cans from Pindiga to their community, about 7 kilometers from Pindiga. So making up this road is a great help to them. Otherwise, sometimes they would even take the water. There's no way they could pass. It would take them maybe about 2 hours to get to the community before.
They don't have water?
No water there. In fact, the soil that has been excavated to do the work on this road is the one that has been excavated inside the orchard that they have been taking water.
Every day, tens of vehicles in this manner pass through this laterite road to buy water in Pindiga, but they had to sell their wood first. It may sound strange. Over 10 communities along this road actually sacrifice their only source of drinking water so that this road can happen. They access Pindiga in less than 30 minutes now, where they used to spend 4 to 5 hours. To even get water before, move their farm produce, or even travel out, they needed to spend about 6 hours. Overly dusty as the road is now, it looks like a super highway to the people. This is the dam side where the communities used to access their water and do their irrigation farming.
In addition to they applied for lack of water, and obviously the excavation of this dam, so will help to alleviate the suffering of by the next rainy season. So there will be lots of water here, and they will have something to carry on.
While we were at the dam site, representatives of the communities mobilized to welcome the emir, appreciate the federal government effort in doing the road. Now, but the road looks like right to me,
yes.
And I'm afraid maybe during the rainy season it will go back to its former state.
One good thing is that the road has a single slope. It's going by one side, and then in the process of doing this work, we did what we call side earth drain. We cut the side so that the water will flow by the side. The other one will flow the left hand side, and the other one will flow by the right hand side. So at least for a season, they will not have trouble.
Okay. Eventually, we said our goodbye to the emir and moved to other areas.
Their plight is public now, and we expect some intervention in no distant time. From Gombe State, we move to Bayelsa State, where we hear that the people are rejoicing over the proposed repair and maintenance of the Yenagoe-Kolo-Otueke Palm Roads, as captured in President Buhari's New Year speech. Binimi Zimitiliola reports that the people are saying that the actualization of the projects will boost their socio-economic activities. Take a look.
Constructed in the 70s and 80s, the Kolo and other linking roads serve as oil location roads to multinationals. It also leads to the historical Oloibiri oil well, where oil was first discovered in commercial quantity in Nigeria. Despite its contribution to the nation's economy, the road has been in a deplorable condition for some years, coupled with the dilapidated bridges that have outstayed their projected lifespan.
I see that I was supposed to go to that side, go and buy something, but there is no way for me to go because of the road. I have to return.
Areas that we're supposed to pay maybe 500 naira, we're paying 2,000, 1,000 because of the bad road.
Something that you can use 2 seconds to move over this place. More than 10 minutes, you are still crumbling.
President Muhammadu Buhari, in his recent New Year message, among other roads, promised the repair and maintenance of the Yenagoe, Kolo, and the Otueke Bayelsa Palm roads to boost the socio-economic life of the people. This, some Bayelsans say, is a step in the right direction. They, however, express concern on the timely award and completion of the project.
The payback. Maybe people will say Son of the Soil did it in the axis of the current president. So probably the current president is also transferring the payback to the former president's place. It's welcome development.
Our appeal to government in this road is that let it come and work the road so that everywhere will be okay.
Meanwhile, on the cleanup of the Niger Delta, Bayelsans say it is long overdue, going by the enormous contribution of the region to the nation's economy and the adverse health hazards caused by activities of oil exploration and exploitation in the region.
Nice turn of events there. Moving on. I doubt that there is anyone who has not heard it said that a teacher's reward is in heaven. This perhaps is because right from time, teachers are not remunerated handsomely for their efforts in shaping lives and building sound societies. Well, these days, do people still think that a teacher's reward is in heaven or that teaching is a no-go area? If you think like me, then your thoughts are as good as mine. Well, Annie Daniels is one of those people wondering about the teaching profession. Are there Nigerians who want to take up teaching as a profession? If not, why?
Is there anyone who went through any kind of formal education, especially what is widely referred to as Western education, that did not pass through a teacher? You would agree with me that teachers are the ones who link people with what they aspire to become in life.
As a teacher, you are a judge, you are a pastor, you are an imam, you are everything.
To be a teacher is therefore prestigious, and teaching a prestigious profession. Or is it? I was surprised when a cross-section of Nigerians plus young children told me they do not and would never aspire to be teachers.
I want to be a banker.
I'll be a doctor.
I couldn't help but ask why they prefer other professions to teaching.
Most of the times, students do abuse teachers. Parents do go to fight the teachers because of flogging their children.
Some teachers don't have cars after school. They trek home.
We believe that teachers' reward is in heaven. So, if I be an oil worker in a company today, I will get my reward here.
Dr. Sule Shaidu is a senior lecturer of educational management at the University of Lagos. As a teacher himself, I had to ask him if the fear of these respondents is justified.
The conditions of service in the teaching profession is quite appalling and very poor, and they are not entitled to other entitlements. There is what we call fringe benefits that other professions enjoy. Teachers don't enjoy that. If at all they do, it is very, very rare.
He pointed out that until issues concerning teachers in Nigeria are taken seriously, the fear is justified.
The admission policy, poor, control of entry into teaching profession. You can see every Toma and Tani. The remnants, they rejected candidates from other departments and faculties are pushed into education. So at the end of the day, even they look at themselves as the rejected ones, and it even affects their academic performance too.
But how can teachers be made to do their jobs conscientiously?
Any spare time you have should be for research. Upgrade yourself, go into whatever academic activity that could boost your academic standard.
And the result?
You will be respected in the society. You will be rewarded here on this earth by people you don't even know. You should even expect your reward too in the life hereafter.
Well, if you ask me, all professions should have a strong regulatory body that will ensure the welfare and protection of its members, and this includes teaching profession.
We are all products of teachers. Teachers ought to be treated like royalty, but of course. Now, as much as many, if not all Nigerians, dread to be teachers, for calling George MacDonald, an 83-year-old Scottish teacher who taught in the famous Hope Waddell Training Institution, Calabar, as far back as 1961, the story is different. How, you might ask? Wait for this report by Umo Basi Edet to find out.
MacDonald, now aged 83, served as a teacher and headmaster at the Hope Waddell Training Institution, Calabar, from 1961 to 1967. About 50 years after, his old students and staff lined up several activities in Calabar to celebrate their icon and mentor. His homecoming was heralded this way. Touching down in Calabar and a tour around the school premises brought back great memories and nostalgic feelings. His students, now great men in the society, could not help but relive their experiences with their teacher, whom they had nicknamed Okmonku, meaning the tough one. A legendary math and physics teacher, Okmonku founded the Engineering and Maintenance Club, which took over the tarring of the road leading to the institution, electrified the hall, laid water and gas pipes, as well as maintained the machines in the college. His long-lasting beneficial effect on a generation of students of Hope Model Training Institution is what led to this reception with the governor of Cross River State, Professor Ben Ayade, represented by his deputy, Professor Ivara Isu, on hand to receive him.
Truly deserve to be honored by the government and people of Cross River State.
The Obon of Calabar and Treaty King of the Ifa Kingdom, Edidemekpo Konabasutu the Fifth, also extended the warm hospitality of the people to him, refreshing his memories of Calabar. Remembered as the first biker in Calabar, Colin MacDonald owned and rode a Triumph motorcycle, which was a part of him and today commands a place befitting at the National Museum in Calabar.
It's been a fascinating tour of the museum to see all these historical pictures, photographs, artifacts all put together, because
you finally met the owner of this bike, and that he has finally officially handed it over to you.
This disciplinarian, who till date has left several marks on his students, to mark his homecoming, also planted a tree outside Bungalow 5, where he resided. Eulogies and souvenirs from his old students kept pouring in. And for the old students of Hope Model Training Institution, the teacher and headmaster, Colin George MacDonald, deserves more than they could offer.
That was indeed a homecoming. So far so good. Let's take a break while we prepare for the next segment. When we return, we will unveil a potpourri of events, including what some veteran broadcasters did when they got together. Stay on the line. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Another set of winners have emerged in the ongoing Fidelity Get Alert in Millions Reloaded promo. Amateur buyers who witnessed a third in the series of the monthly draws says a total of 16 million naira and consolation prizes were up for grabs.
I meet the branch manager.
I beg, this one I need a joke. I'm so surprised.
What do you feel about the win, sir?
How do I get the money?
Voices of some of the latest winners in the ongoing Fidelity Get Alert in Millions Reloaded promo when contacted on telephone by officials of the bank. Some expressed shock and disbelief, while others considered the good news as too good to be true. For the lucky 12, which includes a truck driver, Ojuku Ogonna, Fidelity has provided a lifeline for positive change in their lives, as he expressed his gratitude to the bank in an emotion-laden voice.
If that money is to me, I'll be so grateful because I have suffered a lot.
Okay. Komolafe Julius and Obekenu Development Union won 2 million naira each. Others got 1 million naira apiece.
We want Nigerians to be a part of the success story that is fast evolving in our environment, and that is only possible for people who have a financial plan, and a key element of a strong financial plan for future growth and development of individuals and their families is a strong savings culture.
For those that have accounts already with us, all they need to do is just to top their account with 10,000 naira, and then for those that don't have an account, they should open an account, savings account with Fidelity Bank and get up to 20,000 naira.
Refrigerator, television, and power generating sets were also won in the promo. The promo started in October 2017, and the bank says it's open to both existing and new customers. 60 million naira is still up for grabs. So far, 93 winners have emerged in the promo, which has been endorsed by the National Lottery Commission.
We congratulate the winners. It was indeed a convergence of veterans in broadcasting in Nigeria when those in the Lagos area came together to celebrate the profession to round off 2017 and usher in 2018. They celebrated themselves and rubbed minds on issues affecting the industry. Elizabeth Omori reports.
That soft tune from the oldies set a tone for the evening. Veterans, including the very first Director General of the NTA, Engineer Vincent Maduka, and others like Senior Orwell Brown, Patrick Oke, Ruth Benemesia, John Momo, who is the current chairman of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, Abike Dabiri Iriwa, and from the radio, Osaze Iyamu, Funke Treasure, amongst others. Old relationships were visibly rekindled as the broadcasters, retired and serving, exchanged long-time no-see banters. They wined and dined, in the midst of which serious issues affecting broadcasting in Nigeria were raised.
One of the issues is how to get broadcasting recognized as a profession that is going to be regulated.
The broadcasters preferred solutions, among which is a suggestion that a broadcast media bill be passed into law. If this happens, they believe a lot of the challenges confronting broadcasting would be addressed.
We need to enhance professionalism. We need to carry this profession with dignity and respect.
We just need to make sure that we imbibe the ethics and then keep to them, making sure that we pass a bill in the legislature so that we can be professionalized, and then all broadcasters will come under the umbrella of the Nigerian Society of Broadcasters.
Unanimously, they insisted on professionalism, insisting that there must be no room for mediocrity.
The right training with the right attitude and above all the passion. Anybody can be there.
We want to ensure that the basic qualification of being a journalist is strictly adhered to. You must have a diploma in journalism or mass comm.
The first of its kind, the conveners plan to make it an annual and bigger event where broadcasters can converge to chart a way forward for their profession.
We'll be able to regulate ourselves, train ourselves, discipline ourselves and everything. And in that wise, we'll be able to maintain the ethics of our profession.
It wasn't all about problem solving, as these members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm let down their hair, taken to the dance floor.
What a way to begin. I missed a lot. We are looking forward to the next edition. I will be there. Now, this is a pure case of one man with disability bringing out the best in other people with disabilities. He's blind and he did something spectacular in Lagos. Adiola Mokive, who came up close and personal with him, reports that he organized a program tagged The Reality in You for other people with the same kind and other kinds of disability. Adiola, start from the beginning and tell us the story.
The young man is handsome. That was my first observation when he approached me in the premises of a national stadium in Lagos. Nothing betrayed the fact that Bob Martins Lawrence is blind. He walked unaided. I realized his disability when I stretched out my hands for a handshake and he did not reciprocate. He told me of the event he wants to organize for people with disabilities to showcase their innate talent. I had to see for myself. Indeed, it was an impressive display of raw talent in music, poetry, literary and artistic works.
I remember when Face sing the song. but Nigeria will not go viral.
The mastermind behind this talent show is himself a bundle of talent. He held everyone spellbound when he displayed his prowess on the saxophone. I couldn't help but wonder what it is that really drives Bob Martins Lawrence.
I noticed that many people don't look in that direction because of their predicament. They feel that they cannot do anything, but I feel that has gone a long way to demoralize them, to discourage them. So what we just want to do is to create this platform for them to always come and showcase their talent.
As many as gathered to witness the thrilling performances of these people living with disability, it was their conclusion that there is indeed ability in disability.
You don't need to pity. We are not in for the pity party at this time, but we want support.
Individuals, corporate bodies and the government should have a rethink on what to do to really assist the people that are living with disability.
Following the success of this maiden edition, Bob Martins Lawrence says it will become an annual event that would go a long way in instilling confidence on people living with disabilities and expose their worth to the world.
What an amazing display of talent. Disability is nothing after all. Now, God, they say, is a husband of the widow, but the intervention of well-meaning people can assuage the pain and agony they go through in times of need. One of such people is Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo of the Kingsway International Christian Center, who has been empowering them with clothing materials and food. Tokwe Alabi conferred the gesture for Newsline.
It is another edition of the Widows Empowerment Program, and at the King's University campus, Odeomu, in Osun State, where women from communities like Ishokan, Ikire, Akpomu, Ikoyi, Oshogbo Ilefe, Bodakeke, and of course, the host community, Odeomu, where hails Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo of the King's International Christian Center, KICC. They were empowered with funds, clothing materials, among other things.
I believe if every Nigerian whom God has blessed one way or the other can do something, it will really begin to bring relief to our people. This is not an initiative of KICC. It's my personal initiative along with my wife, and of course some of our friends who have seen what we're doing have decided to support one way or the other.
Some of the beneficiaries who could not hide their joy emphasized the need for the endowed to remember the less privileged.
I'm very happy to see this program.
Some say that they help everybody, so God will help them too.
Dignitaries in attendance, including the Osun State Deputy Governor, Mrs. Titilaoye Tomori, Pastor Kayode Abiara, among others, commended the initiative.
It's trying to replicate what our Lord Jesus Christ did during his lifetime. We really want to appreciate him for doing this annually in the state of Osun.
Nobody knows their code, and when they die, that's all. So I want to encourage them to emulate this.
For Pastor Ashimolowo, the journey after 12 years has just started.
We're going to bring hospital on wheels. It's going to cost a lot of money. So when we enter an area, it has a way of expanding. It's a sterilized trailer where up to 5 surgeries can be done at a time.
That was certainly a magnanimous way to celebrate widows. Thanks to the church for the gesture. The debate is raging whether or not third-party interference in marriage is healthy. What is third-party interference anyway? Stay on the line for the pros and cons of this interesting debate. Let's take a break. Hey. Glad to have you back. Have you observed that when people behave badly in this country, they attribute it to what they call the Nigerian factor? What we're asking now is that, is it a Nigerian factor to drive on one way, beat traffic lights, jump the queue, go late for everything? If you ask me, the answer is no. This is why Mohammed Abdulkadir decided to examine the Nigerian factor and what may constitute negative and positive Nigerian factors. Let's hear him.
When you see something or hear something, say something in defense of national interests. This campaign is rubbing on me. That is why I've decided to probe into the coinage of the Nigerian factor being ascribed to a lot of things. Come along with me.
It has to do with knowing somebody to assist or knowing somebody to get what you want to do without going to normal system.
When you are supposed to be at a place at 9 o'clock, you are not there, they say it's Nigerian factor.
Nigerian factor is the fact that we try not to be very, very disciplined.
The negative intention, perception, and interpretation of the Nigerian factor is portraying the country in bad light at home and in diaspora.
We created Nigerian factor by ourselves. That's supposed not to be Nigerian factor. And it is we created Nigerian factor that we are now making Nigeria to be bad.
Nigeria factor, people are not being patriotic enough.
Over the years, the coinage and concept of the Nigerian factor has gone viral to the extent that the cliché is eroding the societal core values and norms which are pride of the nation. The negative attitude and attributes being associated with the Nigerian factor negates Chapter 2, Section 23 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Clearly gave some 7 core values of Nigeria that we as Nigerians have to practice. The core values of hard work, the core values of discipline.
Respondents say Nigeria, good people, great nation cannot take the back seat among Committee of Nations going by the positive Nigerian factor in global economy, international politics, world of sports, and a pedigree in producing world beaters in ICT and manpower assets in all sectors.
The Nigerian factor is a concept which promotes the Nigerianness in every individual. Nigeria is unique. It's a unique country.
We had the likes of Mary Oyali, who became the first individual gold medalist in the Olympic. We could ascribe that to Nigerian factor. That is the goodness in Nigeria.
Opinion molders say the change begin with me campaign of the present administration should be embraced and endorsed by all Nigerians to take the country to the next level.
It's all about change, and it starts with me, you, and everybody. There's no other magic to stamp out the Nigerian factor. And two shall become one. That is a situation when a man and a woman come together as husband and wife. What this means is that they now do everything as a united entity where no other person is expected to interfere. But what do we find? Invited or uninvited, some people are in other people's marriages, advising and counseling. This is referred to as third-party interference. Some say third-party interference is okay if the counsel is positive and progressive. But do you know that there are third parties who interfere only to pull down and scatter? Our question is, third-party interference in marriage, is it healthy? Annie Daniels reports.
Definitely, they must have issues, but don't let a third party come in between. I've become a third party as from today.
That was a father advising his daughter and son-in-law against entertaining any form of third party in their home affairs. I can't remember attending any wedding without hearing the priest, friends and relatives advising the newlywed against third party interference. There must be a reason for that.
In wedding, it's under the influence and instruction of God to become one flesh. So whatever advice, whatever counsel we want to give them should be under the word, the direction, the instruction, and the leading of the Almighty.
This respondent narrates his experience.
Anytime my wife offended me or something like that, I will call somebody and see what my wife did, not knowing that I'm destroying my house. But when we stop telling anybody about our issue, about our affairs, there's no any quarrel. and we live in peace.
Other respondents could not agree less.
When you take the issue concerning you and your wife even to your father, you are then it means that you are not capable to be a husband.
So, Newsline asked, is there a right time to entertain third-party interference in a marriage?
In case life becomes, that is, hell on earth for them, husband and wife, incompatibility, they can't cope, they are tearing each other to pieces, pouring acid to themselves, the family people will come in. That is, the ladies people, the men's people, they will come in to do what? To make peace.
But it must be at their request. Let them both come together.